Today we're going to talk about smart mowing. Everybody in the world is going to smart, whether it be smart light bulbs, smart TVs, and I figure smart mowing should get its own category, don't you? And we'll also be talking a little bit about your lawn mowing IQ. Let's find out how high your IQ is while you're lawn mowing. Stay tuned. Welcome back and thank you for joining me again, everybody. In case this is your first video, this is Mike with Jealous Lawn Care. And you know our goal. Our goal is to make your neighbors a little bit more jealous of your lawn. Today we're going to talk about your lawn mowing IQ and if you're mowing smart or maybe not as smart. So we're going to go through some tips along with your mowing, alright? So there's a lot of things you can be doing to help your lawn and saves yourself some time while you're mowing your lawn. And we all need these things because they're important. You know, we all don't have a lot of time, and I'm not sure about you guys, but I know that when I'm cutting the grass, some of the times I'm just hurrying through it and going as quick as possible just to get it done because it kind of seems like a chore. We're not really enjoying our mowing session as much as we should be or as much as we want to be. So that's already not a good thing. So we're going to try and help you squeeze some more time, even if it's a little bit, out of your mowing session or your lawn care practices, all right, by going through these steps. So without further ado, let's jump right in. And I hope you guys like these standard videos where I'm not actually moving around. You know, apparently my stabilization on these videos is not that great. I noticed that in some of the other videos, so just bear with me if you can. I'll definitely have some more future videos where I'm out there on the grass showing you things on the grass. So the stuff that I'm going to share with you today is so important. I just want to make sure that there's no distraction. Looking at the grass, looking at things in the background. And today's also a very windy day. If you can hear, I got you guys in the very corner of the house, so this is the best place for the wind to avoid noise. So just a quick summary. Basically, we want to make sure that you are thinking about your lawn while you're actually mowing it and not just going through the process. So that's the worst thing you want to do, is just go through the process without even thinking about it, because then you're going to have to go afterwards look for maybe weeds or disease problems. You're going to have to do a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're going to talk through now about what the things you should be doing while you're mowing your lawn are. Okay, so the first thing you want to look for is you want to look for weak spots in the lawn as you're going by. So when you're going by in the lawn, with each pass, you're not missing any sections of the lawn. You're seeing every bit of it before you cut it and after you cut it. And you may see different things before and after, depending on many factors. So definitely make sure you look for those weak spots. And the weak spots may be difference in color, it might be darker green, lighter green, could be brown patches, could be thinning spots, you know, spots where it's thin and it's thicker in some other areas. So want to make sure that you check out all those all at once. Make sure you take a mental note of it, write it down if you have to make sure you go back and check that spot. Because the best thing we want to do in lawn care is to prevent problems before they happen, or if we can't get them before they happen, get them in the first beginning stages of it. So the worst thing you can do is find out after the fact, after your lawn is completely damaged and the root systems are completely dead and we can't repair it. Then you're just gonna have to rip it out, sod, seed, do whatever you want. So worst thing, we don't want to do that. We want to avoid that if possible. Now the second thing I want to talk about is to look for weeds and spot spray as needed. I don't care how good your weed control program is, or how thick your lawn is, or how tall your grass. You know, those are all great things to have for weed prevention. But I don't care. All those factors aside, everybody will have some weeds pop up every year. It's just one of those things. Everybody has some weaker spots, some thinner spots in the lawn. Nobody's lawn is perfect. So this is why I like to carry my Weed Be Gone product along with me on the lawnmower. This way, for each pass, when you're completely covering the lawn, then you can see weeds as they come up and just quick spot spray. I'm kind of surprised they don't have like a little compartment, to be honest, and an easy attachment for a bottle of spray, to be honest, but maybe that's a future invention you guys can make some money on. The next thing you want to look for after you look for your weak spots and your weeds, is you want to look for any unusual browning activity. Now this may be coming in patterns, certain diseases. It could be a disease, it could not be a disease. It could be watering, could be drought, could be a lot of factors. So just check to see, is there one section, maybe you were watering in one section and the sprinklers didn't hit this section, that's why maybe it's brown in this whole section. Maybe it's coming up in like an eye shaped, where it has the middle is green and then there's a circle around it that's a little bit bigger and that's all brown. So that's one of the signs of a lawn disease. Thank you, motorcycle, for interrupting my video. Actually, I don't even think that was a motorcycle, was it? Was that a scooter? So definitely make sure that you check for this unusual browning activity, whether it be patterns, water, drought, could be lots of factors. But all your lawn should pretty much be the same, unless you have a lot of shade issues. You shouldn't see a lot of brown in one area and green in another. It should all be relatively the same. So you have the same soil, the same nutrient base, you're taking care of it the same way, I hope, with fertilizers and other things. So make sure that you check this out. So one of the other reasons you might have browner grass in some spots versus others could be due to grub worms. Now that's another factor, disease, could be grubs, could be drought, could be a factor of dog urine. So you're going to have dogs walking down the street all the time. They're going to be peeing wherever they smell anything good to pee on. Or taller, they like to pee on the tallest things, it seems. So if you have a fire hydrant, good luck. Or anything tall like that. They like to pee along trees, bushes, anything that's tall. And unfortunately, I would say taller grass. Now here's a little bit of extra information. I'm full of extra information, just random thoughts sometimes. This is back old school from my days working at a pet store. So dogs actually pee on the highest thing that they can. And the reason why they do that, which is why you'll see it on like water mains, fire hydrants, things of that nature, trees, bushes, they'll pee on the highest thing that they can find in that area, because of the fact that once they pee on it, it basically marks their territory. And once it marks their territory, when the wind blows, we'll say the highest things blows farther. So it has a larger blowing distance, we'll say, a greater smelling distance. Versus if they pee on something small like the concrete, which you never see them pee on concrete, because that's usually the lowest point. You always see them peeing on something higher. So once they pee there, dogs will actually find out everything they want to know about that dog just by the smell of the urine. They can tell male or female, age, everything they want to know about them. Kind of like your own little dating site for dogs. So just thought you guys would be interested in that information. Is that lawn care related? Maybe, maybe not, but hey, it's all about the lawn, right? So next thing you want to do when we're talking about smart mowing habits, this topic is going to be about weed whacking. And what I'm talking about is when you weed whack, check to make sure. I assume yours is just like my weed whacker, where it spins clockwise. So check your weed whacker to make sure whether it spins counterclockwise or clockwise. And while I'm doing this on video, I'm not sure if you guys are looking in the reflection of me whether or not this is counterclockwise or clockwise. So either way, you guys know what the difference are. So basically I want to talk about, so if you're spinning counterclockwise, you want to make sure that you're walking along the same path. So if you're spinning counterclockwise, then the blade, or I should say the string trimmer, is cutting in that same position, the same counterclockwise position, and therefore it's blowing everything out to one side. So you want to make sure it's cutting to one side and blowing to the other side, or blowing meaning shooting it out. You don't want the grass to be shooting out and you to be cutting in that same direction, otherwise that can basically scar the ground. It can do some scalping, a lot of factors you don't want to get into. So just make sure that, quickest way you can tell If yours is spinning counterclockwise, clockwise, obviously that's very dangerous if you're looking underneath it. But one way you can do it is cut a little bit of grass and see which way it's discharging. It's discharging left, discharging right, and then you want to walk accordingly. And this goes along with the whole lawn mowing IQ and how smart you are at looking at patterns and seeing what's better, what not. Some people are better at this than others, but what I'm talking about is when you're weed whacking, just take 2 sections. Cut it left to right if you can't tell, and then cut it right to left, another section. See which way worked better. One way will definitely work easier for you when you're weed whacking because it's designed to spin and cut in that same direction. And next thing I want to talk about really briefly is what order you mow and trim, edge, and blow. So all those things are essential, and I would recommend every single time. Don't just mow and not trim, or don't just mow and not edge or blow. You don't want to leave all that stuff for the neighbors to look at. It basically just ruins your whole lawn appearance. It makes it look like, okay, you just rush through it, you don't have time to edge or trim. Do the whole pass. It's not that much harder, not that much more work, I should say. And it really makes a big difference in curb appeal. So you want to make your neighbors jealous. Is the best way to do it is through your edging and trimming. And the order I like to do it in might be a little bit different than what other people recommend. So I obviously will mow first. Mow first is what I like to do, and then I like to trim. And the reason I trim second instead of first is because of the fact that I like mowing first and then trimming afterwards, because trimmer, I basically feel like, okay, you basically, let's say I cut my hair, then I'm going to trim the sides. I mean, that's ideally what you want to do. You want to trim second. So just because of the fact that trimming afterwards will basically let you even out any inconsistencies or whatever in the lawn, we'll say, or on the edges. A lot of people have issues, like I have issues with my grading of my front yard. You can see it kind of going down and down and down to the sidewalk, and because of that, the end of the sidewalk kind of, so the grass goes like this and this and this, and then it kind of dips up a little bit right at the end. So that kind of bothers me because I want just to be consistent all the way. So what I end up doing is I go along the whole length of the sidewalk and I do a little trimming afterwards just to even it out and get that consistency and that consistent grading, we'll say, of the lawn, so it doesn't look stupid. Now I will mention that I only do trimming second if I'm mowing regularly on a consistent basis, because if you have grass blades that long that you're cutting off, then that's just going to be laying on the top of your grass after you mowed it, and obviously that looks ugly. So there's a couple factors you can play into effect. A lot of people will argue that if you trim first and then you mow, that you're mowing the blades of grass that you already trimmed on those edges. So yes, that's true, assuming you do it well. Try both and see which one you're good at. I'm not that good at trimming first. I can't seem to figure out how to get it as even of a cut as I like to get it even enough with as the lawnmower does. Then the third step is edging. Please make sure that you do this. Nothing makes a lawn pop out more, other than stripes maybe. We can get into that later. But nothing makes a lawn pop out more than having nice, tight, crisp edging lines. So make sure it's standing straight up like a carpet. You want it. That's the best way to do it. Stands out better from the neighbors, stands out from the curb appeal, stands out from a lot of factors. All right. And last step, obviously, no brainer. Don't need any lawn mowing IQ to figure out that you blow last. Blow everything back into the lawn. That'll basically be remulching, we'll say. Next thing we want to talk about is, are you mowing at the proper height? Are you mowing too tall, where your grass is just consistently laying over? I mean, a day after you cut it, is it laying over already? It shouldn't be laying over. You shouldn't be cutting, let's just say, Kentucky bluegrass at 4.5 inches. That's just ridiculous. Make sure that you have the right proper mowing height for your grass. And one of the ways that you can tell is go through the lawn. See if you have any scalping. If you have inconsistencies, or we'll say bad grading or leveling spots, you need to take that mower up, just because of the fact alone that you're going to be scalping that lawn. So I said you might have problems with your lawn being level and having maybe divots or grooves or something that you don't want. The easiest way to demonstrate that is, let's say you have your concrete sidewalk here and you have your grass here. Now this is taller, but again, where your soil level is another factor. So let's just say it's like this. So if you're mowing here, and this is your grass still, and this is your concrete sidewalk, and we'll say these middle fingers right here are where the lawnmower wheels are. And if that's the case, what's going to happen is the fact that the mower wheels are different. They're very different. And what that's going to cause, when you have differences like that, it's going to cause scalping along the edges of the grass. And that's what we don't want. We don't want any scalping. We all want it to be consistent. Obviously, a level lawn would be great, but if you can't get the level lawn or as quick as possible, best thing to do is just take that blade up, move it up to 3-4 inches, whatever you have to, just so you don't have the scalping factors to worry about. So the best thing you can do to avoid scalping, take that blade up, take it up a couple notches at least, just to get rid of those inconsistencies on the lawn. That'll do wonders for your lawn. So one other way you can find out if you are mowing at the proper height and consistently. Consistency is key. The way you can find out is when you do your passes, if you have clumping along the sides or leftover grass that's literally on the sides of the mower, that basically means your mower can't handle it at that height or that consistency. So make sure you take that blade up, raise that mower deck up so that you're not having those issues. You don't want clumping or leftover grass that's not chopped up properly along the edges. All right, that's the quickest sign you can tell. Next quick thing, while you're lawn mowing, make sure that you're looking at the blades of grass. If you just cut it and your lawn is now browner than it was when it was taller, then that means that you most likely have a dull mower blade. So make sure you check the top of the blades of grass should be green. Don't they know I'm doing a video here? Never know about people. So the tops of your blades of grass should be green, even after you cut them. You shouldn't see much brown at all, if at all. So if you keep your blade nice and sharp, you don't want any browning. Make sure you don't have the browning. It'll make your grass avoid a whole bunch of issues with browning, with lawn diseases, infestation. It's just like if you get a cut, you need a Band-Aid. If you don't have a Band-Aid, it can get infected very easily. Same thing with the grass. Grass not only has that browning, but a lot of times if you have the dull mower blade, you also see splitting of the blades of grass right on top. And I have some other videos, you check out a lot of my videos. I have videos on sharpening your mower blade, what it looks like with brown grass. I'll put a link below so you guys can check that out also. So that's going to open up your grass for possible infestation and diseases, just like your own cut would cause infections to you. Same type of thing, where you can't put a Band-Aid on the grass. So the best way is to avoid it and sharpen your mower blade consistently. I would say monthly. Next thing I want to talk about is while you're going through and mowing your lawn, if you don't have enough to think about already, this is the next thing. Look for improvements. All lawns can be improved, whether it be color, level or non-level grass, the height, there's a lot of factors. So how do you look for improvements while you're mowing? This can be done just by going along and seeing, when you see these weak spots, think about it and figure out, okay, what can I do about that? Like in the back, I actually have issues with my garage overheating. Like behind my garage, I have a video, check below in my walkthrough. I have a whole bunch of ways that I'm looking to improve my lawn. So when you check out my walkthrough video below, you'll also see how I'm trying to improve my lawn. Things that while I'm cutting, I figured out, hey, this is not working time and time again. This is always a weak spot in the lawn because of the fact maybe it's due to too much shade. So, you shouldn't be trying to grow grass under pine trees. That should be a pretty obvious one, but some people do. And sometimes they're successful, but it's not likely. All right, and another factor, in my walkthrough I know is there's an area where it always heats up my lawn, and unless you're consistently watering it, it will constantly die. And reason being is because of the fact that I have vinyl siding, and the vinyl siding creates kind of like a sauna. And anyways, for more information, check out that link in the below my walkthrough. We'll go through improvements in the lawn. Yeah. So like I've briefly mentioned, there's lots of ways you can look for improvements. Of course, nobody has all the time in the world to do these improvements, but at least write them down, get them on your to-do list. It doesn't have to be right away. So one of the things that I've noticed is the more and more I mow my lawn and take care of my lawn and understand it, that helps me to appreciate it more and actually enjoy my mowing sessions more. Let me know if you guys feel the same way. You know, watching these videos, did I help you, did I not help you? But at least let me know your understanding. What helped you appreciate and enjoy your mowing the lawn better? And the last thing I want to talk about is not really regarding while you're mowing, but anytime in between. It's good to walk the neighborhood, you know, go for walks with the family. Good time to get outside and enjoy the weather, and also do a little investigating of your own, we'll say. And while you're walking along, I do this frequently, you know, several times a week. I go out with the family and I'm walking around looking at people's lawns, landscape, getting some ideas. This is a great thing to do, because a lot of times in your area, that's the best place that you're going to get possibly future issues or concerns. Maybe some of your neighbors are experiencing a lawn disease due to, let's say, humidity or cutting low or cutting high, or, you know, a lot of factors at play. But so looking at your neighbors' lawns and landscape, and I don't mean just your immediate neighbors, you could be down the block. Best thing about that, and the reason I like to use all my neighbors in the neighborhood as examples, because of the fact that we're all experiencing the same exact climate. Now sure, we may have little differences of shade and sun, but it's all the same climate. And a lot of times when you're looking at like lawn diseases, that's a big factor is the weather. You know, too much wet or too much heat. So definitely make sure you walk and check those. If someone else is having some lawn disease problems, maybe you want to put down a pre-emergent just to be safe. Maybe you got lucky, maybe you didn't. Maybe you're the one that has the lawn disease problems and other people are checking out your lawn. So that's one of the reasons I like to do my neighborhood walks and check out the lawns, check out the competition. Maybe get to know some of your neighbors a little bit better, talk to them about their grass. So one of the things I also noticed while doing these neighborhood walks is the people that have these nice green lawns, it's not an accident. They're really taking care of it and they take pride in it, just like I hope you're doing the same thing. And if I see these neighbors out there, I love complimenting them on their lawn. And you know, a lot of times that leads to a nice little lawn discussion. And you guys know me, I love talking lawn. I can talk lawn all day and go off on tangent after tangent after tangent. So it's a good thing to do. Find out what their practices are. Maybe in your area they're using one type of fertilizer versus another. Maybe look at their experiences. You know, there's a lot of good resources that are just in your community. It doesn't have to be on YouTube or online. It could be just anywhere that's local to you. And you guys know how much I love talking about my grass. And here's my update on my ornamental grass. Remember all that was brown because I just chopped it off from the prior years? See? It's only a few weeks later and you can't even see any of that brown anymore. If you look over the top, you can still see a little bit of this brown there, but this is going to keep growing and growing, and I love this. Same thing with over here. This is a little less thick, we'll say, but yeah, looks great. You can't even tell if the brown is there anymore on the bottoms. So just wanted to give you guys a quick update in case you're thinking about doing the same thing. So that's all the tips I have to help your lawn mowing IQ get a little bit better. So hopefully you've learned something here. If so, make sure you hit the thumbs up as always and subscribe for more. So you do not want to miss my future lawn care tests. Very important things coming out and I'm working on right now. Thank you for joining me, everybody, and we'll see you next time.